Hi guys, I'm David with The Rabbit Show, and we're going to go over the basics of a meat pen. So a meat pen is 3 rabbits that are of the same breed and same variety. They don't have to be the same sex, that are under 70 days of age and between 3.5 to 5.5 pounds. The most commonly used breeds for meat pens are Californians and New Zealand's. These breeds are historically have been bred for better meat production, and that's why you most commonly see them being used in meat pens. In a meat pen, the big things that we're looking for are how much total retail product the rabbit has. The 2 biggest points of emphasis are the muscling in the hindquarters and the muscling in the loin. We're looking for really wide, well-developed hindquarters and really wide, well-developed loins. The third place where the meat production is at is in the shoulders. On these rabbits, we want them to be all well developed, and we want them to be consistent between the 3 of them. The reason for that is when we think about harvesting these animals, we are putting them into a retail package. We want them to be all the same shape and size. In addition to having uniformity, we also look at the overall firmness of flesh. When we're looking at meat pens, we want them to be super hard and super firm in flesh versus ones that are softer. The reason why we look for ones that are super firm in flesh is because when we harvest them and we cook them, those are the animals that retain water better. Those are the ones that are more juicy and more flavorful when we actually consume them. The ones that are softer and less firm in overall flesh are the ones that become more stringy and they don't taste as good. When evaluating a meat pen, the best way to do it is from having the animal posed towards you the way that you see, with looking at seeing how well-rounded the hindquarters are. You want to see a rabbit that has really wide wheelbases, and then this allows them to have a ton of muscle. So as a judge or as a breeder, the way that we look and feel the muscle of these is we take our fingers and we put them up underneath the underside of the hindquarter. And we're seeing just how well muscled they are. We're then using our thumbs to go over the top of the muscle to see how deep and how thick the muscle is. And another way to evaluate how muscular the hindquarters are is by picking up the rabbit from underneath the stomach and seeing the length and depth of the muscle. Again, when we think about them being for harvested today, that's a way to evaluate how much true muscle this animal is going to produce. The second most important component on a meat pen is the length. So the length of the loin, the width of the loin, and the depth of the loin. To evaluate the depth of the loin, you take your finger and put it up underneath the underside of this muscle and see how tall the muscle is, or how thick the muscle is. This muscle is on both sides of the animal's spine. To evaluate the shoulders of a meat pen, you'll make a U. You'll make a U with your hand and put it over the shoulders. You want to have an animal that does have really well muscular shoulders. And to be competitive in meat pens, we also want to see them have a really wide rib cage. That helps and allows them, for the later parts of the animal, to have a wider, deeper loin and the correct shape and fullness in their hindquarter.
No. You didn't talk about fur.
Okay. The fourth category that this is important in a meat pen is fur. This is more like the icing on the cake for a pen. And what you're looking for is something that you're looking for a commercial fur. What that means is something that's fully in prime, and when you stroke it from the tail going up to the ears, it flies back into position right away. You can see with this animal here that it's not fully prime in its coat. because it doesn't go right back into position from when you stroke it from the tail up to the ears. Those these are all the categories that we're looking at in terms of a meat pen. So how much overall muscle they have in the hindquarter and loin, then the shoulders, how firm the animals are in flesh. We want them to be really rock hard. We want them to be consistent and have 3 of them that are like peas in a pod between the 3 of them. And then the fourth thing is the fur quality.